Stress fracture Joshua, which kept him out for 5 months. He got a 3-round win over Jason Gavin in Newcastle. You were of course there, Glenn, and he looked as good as ever.
Yeah, he looked as good as ever. I'm a little bit worried that he starts to do a little bit too much of the muscle building, because he's a little bit stiffer than usual, but that's maybe why they want to give him another little workout, just to get loose, to get those punches flowing again.
That powerful jab, such a weapon for a heavyweight. Arguably Lennox Lewis's best punch, Larry Holmes too. And you remember Larry Holmes watching Joshua in London when he was over, body shot, and a right hand there from Joshua. He looks so powerful and flexible too.
Yeah, but I hope they still keep working on that looseness, you know, which I think he needs, which Lennox had. Frank Bruno much musclier build, and it looks like, you know, he is getting very, very powerful.
Sort of laboured jab being attempted by Zumbano Love. Tentative, and there's the right hand of Joshua, almost driving through the defence.
Well, I'm not sure why Zumbano's added the name Love. I don't think that's going to get him anywhere in this fight.
Just can't get into it at all. Body shot from Joshua. He's doing as he pleased. And he's rattling in hooks from either side here in Birmingham. Good defence. No chinks in the armour yet at all, Glenn.
No, he looks very, very relaxed. He's gonna need to be a little bit more tighter and sharper when he fights Johnson. He's going to have to be more aware, but I think he's coming as relatively casual. Let's hope not too casual.
Yeah, much tougher tests lie ahead. Kevin Johnson in 3 weeks' time, former world title challenger. And very tough. And the question there will be, will Joshua be able to get rid of him early, or will he take him the distance? It doesn't look like this guy, Zumbano Love, has got anything to fend Joshua off, not on what we've seen so far. Can he do it inside a round? No urgency, very relaxed, taking his time. And just misses there.
Jab at you, I can pay for it, you know what I mean, yeah? Right hand over the top sharp glass. Right hand over the
Anthony Joshua without Tony Sims, who's out in Texas with Ricky Burns. And that's his brother Peter Sims in the corner.
Come out, time your hands, though, just really up. He's got no swinging out when you're coming out, you know what I mean? Yeah, a bit tighter, keep on the jab, nice and fast.
I'm sure there's too much tactical advice to be shared at this stage.
No, I think it was very, very easy, and I'm sure he's had much tougher sparring sessions with domestic fighters. So far, Zumbano doesn't look as if he'd really even be allowed to be hired for a sparring partner. We need to see a little bit more from the Brazilian.
Watford's ever so popular 6'6" heavyweight Anthony Joshua, 25 years old. 4 first-round wins so far. He's had 5 inside 2. It's the favoured session so far in his pro career, which began in October 2013. Manuel Leo was the first one. He's beaten Paul Butlin, people like Matt Skelton, Dennis Baktov, Michael Sprott. Now Raphael Zumbano Love in front of him. 29 knockouts himself in his favour, but he hasn't landed anything yet. Looks slow, ponderous, doesn't he, at 34, Zumbano.
Yeah, he just pours the punches out. I'm not even sure where he'd get that knockout power from, because
jab just snapping his head back, and the combination, he nods, but he's already starting to come apart. He did go 12 with Shannon Briggs, but Shannon Briggs a shell of the fighter he once was, and a right hand ready Joshua.
6,
And
7,
the count's at 8.
9.
This is done and dusted. It is his 6th second round win and his 12th straight victory in all. AJ lights up Birmingham, and he's done it in many other cities around the UK, and I'm sure he'll do it in many more.
Yeah, he will. It was a bit of a hiding to nothing, if I'm honest, though, because he didn't really beat anything that was in front of him. There was no real challenge there, and I'm sure he would have had tougher sparring sessions. So what that's given him, maybe it's loosened the bag out a little bit, but it hasn't done much more for him, if I'm honest.
Yep, over that injury, that back injury, it looks like got that 3 rounds with Jason Gavin. That was one of the most dramatic knockouts yet in the Joshua story. One single shot, boom.
Yeah,
Remember Lennox Lewis doing a few of those?
Yeah, you know, lovely right hands. I mean, he can only beat who's in front of him. It was never expected to be, you know, any sort of real test for Joshua. You know, he's got bigger fish to fry later in the month. This was a bit of a workout, but I'm not really sure what it showed us or give us, or if it helped him at all.
I think it's to get his name, his face, his style shown around.
Well, I think we're gonna see that a lot more, aren't we? I think we're gonna get used to seeing Anthony Joshua do that to opponents. He is very good, and you know, he could do that with anybody, if I'm honest.
Nothing wrong with keeping him busy, though.
No, definitely not. I mean, you know, you've got to, you know, the problem is that they're going to struggle to come up with opponents for Joshua, because he is a formidable force. But sooner or later, we need to see him tested. Whether that's going to be Kevin Johnson, I don't know. He certainly is talking a good fight.
He's here, Kevin Johnson. I wonder what he thought of that. 12-0 for Anthony Joshua.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper Martin Fallon recorded a time of 1 minute and 21 seconds of the second round. On a count out, your winner, and still undefeated, taking that perfect record to 12 contests with 12 wins, with 12 knockouts, it's